morning, beloveds. I have a few minutes today and I feel inspired. And I'm going to make another video because I know some of you guys are bored. But anyways, this is sort of like part 2 of the whole what's wrong with people. And why I think that most people are actually demons. I identify demons by basically their needs. They have a lot of needs, and they have a lot of greeds, and they have a lot of wants. This whole so-called pandemic has really separated people. People have started to realize that they're almost technically two camps. The ones that insist on bringing back whatever systems were in place before, and the ones that could care less, couldn't care less, because a lot of us are starting to realize that all those systems were fake and false, and that they really have no purpose, no use. If you look at people, their lives are so chaotic. They have to constantly impress somebody. They have to be the so-called number one in school, number one in sports. But yet, it's all the drama. Nobody's number one, very few. And those are not the demons. But very few are at the top. And it's not even, it doesn't even matter whether you're at the top or not. It's just the way they live their lives. It's just so chaotic. They don't enjoy any moments at all. Every moment is in the service of chasing something. They're constantly chasing energy and attention. Attention is huge. People are addicted to attention. And yes, when they say that, this age of technology has increased not only the awareness to dysfunction and things like narcissism, but they actually have increased narcissism. And this is not narcissism so-called, I look in the mirror and I think I'm beautiful. This is, an obsession with attention. They have an attention deficit. They have to constantly, have people pay attention to them. And it's a payment. Pay attention. When you're paying attention, you're actually giving them energy. You're giving them your soul, your life energy. And I'm no longer amused when I look around how many people need attention. I mean, you can hardly sit on a park bench without somebody coming and starting to ramble on about some stupid shit that does not concern you. And I literally have nothing to say. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but sorry, not sorry, just, I have nothing to discuss. If you want to discuss, there are so many people say, oh, people are lonely. You know what? Go join a church. Join your Facebook group. I don't fucking care. I'm not here to be drained of your bullshit. I'm not interested in what you have to say. Not at all. I live a simple, small life, and I'm very content. I'm at peace. I'm happy. I have, my loved ones around me. I have friends that I love and trust. If you don't have friends and are lonely, that's your own fucking fault. Sorry to tell you that, but I'll be brutally honest. In a matrix of 10 billion people, animals, if I was lonely, if you're lonely, go adopt a child, adopt a pet, adopt a project, adopt a highway. I don't know. I don't care. You guys are on here connecting with people, establishing friendships. Why can't they? They can't, because they have exhausted everybody around them. Their families are tired of them. Their children are tired of them. Their pets are tired of them. Their bosses are tired of them. They have drained and exhausted every venue because they're just demons, and they cannot sit still and replenish themselves with the Holy Spirit of the universe. They have to constantly trick people into, giving them attention attention. And that's the reason why in a lot of my relationship, if not all of them, I like quiet guys. I've always been attracted to quiet guys. I've always liked the silent type. And a lot of the covert demons, or covert, some people call them narcissists, psychopaths, whatever, they start off silent because they're covert, but they're just covert. Covert means undercover. So they're just like an undercover demon, but they're not silent. Demons are not silent. They demand. That's look at the word demand. It has demon in it. They demand attention. They demand money and finances and free housing and free whatever. They demand power over you, your children, your decisions, your body, your mind, your soul. They're just constantly wanting. They, just like that line says, they have been judged and found wanting. That line has always burned in the back of my mind. It's like, what is that line about? It's in the middle of nowhere. It makes no sense. Bam. It's probably the most important line in any scriptures. When you look around you, it's a deficit, basically a deficit disorder. And we're not talking about whatever mental disorder, although that's probably part of it, but it's a deficit. People have deficits. That's the reason why people get into relationships. I'm by myself, been so for over a year, love it, not interested in talking to anybody. Take your shit, go somewhere else, not interested. It's just, I am fine by myself. So the question is, why do people enter relationships? They do because they have to drain somebody. And speaking of, when you go online, like places like Quora or, really anything. Reddit, it's probably more for like younger kids, but, you go to places like that, or really any online forums. I don't talk on any forums. I just observe anything that is publicly available, but, and just kind of look for patterns and things like that. But it's amazing. Demons have two traits. Number one, they're trolls. They constantly need attention. And it's kind of interesting because anybody that has something intelligent to say, they constantly jump on them and they call them trolls. So that's really interesting too. I've watched good people being ganged up upon. Because they're constantly needy. It's just amazing. And two, they have a lot of fears. But I think the fears are not really fears. I think they're part of this attention deficit. And also, I'm trying to look at the clock here, see what, okay, 8 minutes. I don't want to go too long. But it's amazing. They can't go about their day without constantly draining and looshing somebody. They can't. They have to get up in the morning. They have to check the drama on the social media. They have to, loosh somebody, drain them at work with their bullshit. Then they have to drain their spouses, their kids with their bullshit and constant attention. It's just, people on the road, they have to, drive in order to get attention, whether they're driving too slow, too fast, flipping somebody off, honking. I mean, there's always a circus. The circus follows them. And then they're done with so-called work. At lunchtime, they have to flirt with, the waitress or their coworker. There's more attention. Then they're constantly scheming, how they're going to get money, drugs, sex, attention, more attention. It's amazing. These demons live exhausting lives. And I got trapped in that cycle because I thought it was normal because I was raised by one. And I thought it was normal. But it's not normal. And the moment you isolate yourself and you cleanse your aura, your code, your whatever, your spirit, you start realizing how wrong all this stuff really was all along. That things were not done right. No, you don't have, as a kid, you don't have to go to school with the most attractive clothes or attractive, haircut. or nothing. I mean, if you want to get your stuff done just because it pleases you, that's one thing. But you don't have to look like a fucking peacock. And especially as a kid, you know. Oddly enough, my mother had this idea that if she kept me homely, no boy will, zero in on me. And it worked. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go to that extreme. You just have to realize that if you're going to do something, you do it for yourself. And that is where you switch from, this attention feeding vampire to actually feeding yourself, to fueling yourself. And I believe that Jesus had something to do with this when he said, you're teaching a man how to fish. Basically, the moment you realize how to, feed yourself, you no longer feed off of other people. You're no longer a predator, because demons and most humans are predators. I'm sorry, but I think very little of humanity in general, especially what I'm seeing in the media or any public places. It's sad. I mean, why do you have to have, I'm driving on this beautiful road, beautiful nature. You have to have some pompous, sign about vote for this person, vote for that person. And your voting is a circus too, because none of that actually matters. There's no such thing as voting. But, that's another thing. It's just attracting attention. What decent, divine being wants to put their fucking name on a stupid sign? It's just amazing, and when you look at people have these pompous houses. Why do you need that big of a house? For what? For what? That part I don't get. Your house could be split in 5 different houses and house a lot of good homeless people. Now, granted, I don't even know if homeless people actually exist. That could also be another news hoax type thing. But let's just go with that. But why? And why do you have to have a big ass cross on your house? Why do you have to have a big ass, sun ray on your house? Why? For what? But it is to attract attention, because demons need attention. If you believe in a certain God or belief system, why does that have to be displayed for everybody to see? Why? Because it's attention. Like I said, demons need attention. They need energy. Because, attention gives them attention. Money gives them attention. Power gives them attention. It's all about attention. Just look around. It's amazing. I'm not on any social media anymore, except for maybe a little bit of YouTube, but YouTube's not really social. It's more like an exchange of information. But, you go, like, I used to have Facebook, and some of my friends were like, oh, look at me, I look so horrible, and they were spending all this time, like, making their waist look like it's 2 inches, and their booty look like it's, out there, and, it's like, why? Because of attention. They're demons, and what does it really matter if they're demons or not? It doesn't matter, not at all. They do their circus. Like I said, not my monkeys, not my circus. But it matters for many different reasons. Number one, you don't know what you're dealing with. So you're going to get screwed over, because these creatures are not honest. They just want something. That's it. It's a predatory relationship. I can't think of one relationship that I had in the past, in business or in so-called romance, that was an honest, loving intention. It was all just, to take advantage of me. Now, granted, luckily I have some good girlfriends that are not like that, so maybe I'm better at picking friends that, other associations, but it's amazing how many predatory relationships and work circumstances there are. But the reason why they are dangerous, and that's the reason why Jesus and the Essenes lived away from demons, lived away from civilization. And I think that's a trend that's coming around again, is because, sorry, I'm checking my recording. It's the reason, the reason why they're dangerous is that they will sell you